Welcome everyone. So today we're doing a slow flow yoga class that's going to be focused on supporting healthy digestion. So thank you for joining me this morning. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about. For those of you who know me well, you know that I have been battling irritable bowel syndrome for over a decade. And it's been a long journey. I'm still learning new things, but I would say I've really focused in on trying to address this over the last 6 months, and I've learned a lot, and I've also had some really wonderful opportunities to learn about how yoga practices can support healthy digestion. A lot of this I owe to Margot Sorum, who's one of my mentors and teachers who trained me. And she had a wonderful workshop focused on the Panchamaya model, which is the 5 layers of your being. And one of those layers is very closely tied to your digestive system. So got a lot of really wonderful information from her. And there are a lot of people who've posted really good information about how yoga can support healthy digestion. Also Ayurvedic practices, which is the sister science to yoga, that incorporates a lot of like dietary and just lifestyle issues, along with yoga asana and breath work, things like that. The benefits of yoga in particular, this incorporates, yoga incorporates asana, which is physical postures, but also breath work. And those two combined are pretty powerful. So, to support healthy digestion, one thing that is great to do is to physically move around your, literally your stomach, your organs, all the muscles. We tend to get really tight in our core. Actually, we're usually over-tightened, especially in a society that talks a lot about doing intense ab work. We carry a lot of stress in that area as well, so just stretching and opening out those muscles and all the fascial tissues, that's important. As well as, we'll be going into several twists today, so the twists kind of help, again, like wring out the organs and massage them, so really like massaging those tissues is important. Bringing blood flow to your digestive system is also really helpful. So we'll be focusing both on like a bit of like some core strengthening, but a lot of the twisting and opening up and stretching as well. And breath work's really important too. It essentially, when we're doing yoga and we're focusing on our breath, and with specific breath work or pranamaya practices, we're essentially tapping into our parasympathetic nervous system. So the one that's usually on, especially in this very high stress society, is our sympathetic nervous system, which gets you into like the fight or flight kind of mode, and when you feel your adrenaline kicking in and you're just in high stress mode, that's what's turned on. Your parasympathetic nervous system, when that's actually activated, that's when it's telling you to like rest and digest. Breath work is very, very good for activating the parasympathetic nervous system. And there are certain poses too, especially when we stimulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is super cool. When you hum or when you sing, for example, or chant, that stimulates your vagus nerve. It's very, when you're stimulating that nerve, it's actually telling you to calm down and relax. So those are things that we're going to be focusing on today: some breath work, twists, stretching out, along with core work in the abdomen area. And then at the end of class, I'll tell you a few tips, just general lifestyle tips that I've incorporated into my life to help me support an improved and more healthy digestive system in my own body. So props for today. So something that I purchased is called a corgeous ball. This is something that I guarantee most of you probably don't have, but it's kind of like you can easily squish it up. It's not fully inflated. This thing is amazing, and I know it's great for some of these breathing exercises where you're actually lying on the ball. I'm in place of a corgeous ball. What we're going to be using is a towel. So what you want to do with your towel is pretend like you're folding it as if you're in the bathroom. So we're going to hold it up long ways, and then we're going to fold it into 3 ways, into thirds, like as if you're going to hang it on a rack, and then let it drape in half. So you've got your standard bath towel, and then we're going to take it and then we're just going to roll it from here, nice and tight, like you're rolling up a yoga mat. So your bath towel should look like this. And then we'll just put that aside over here, along with our gorgeous ball. Okay, so now we're ready to begin. Come into comfortable seated position. It can be a Virasana, Hero's Pose, which is kneeling, or Easy Pose. This is Easy Pose here. I'm going to do some half lotus action. And just one sec. Realized I need my clock out. Okay. All right. Close the eyes. You can have your hands at your knees. Root down through the sacrum. Feel the sit bones ground down into the mat. And from that grounding down, you have an equal and opposite reaction of your spine lengthening upwards on top of that stable base. As if there's a thread at the top of your head on the crown that's being pulled straight up to the sky. We want an anterior pelvic tilt, so tilt the pelvis back as opposed to tucking the pelvis. And then just lean slightly forwards, but keep the long integrated spine, and that should get you into supported posture, whether you're in a kneeling pose or seated with your legs crossed. Bring the awareness to your breath. Notice each inhale, how it fills the lungs gently with oxygen, and gently releases in the exhale. Allow the mind to quiet. Allow a sense of peace to wash over you as you come gently to your breath. Begin to lengthen your breath. See if you can extend your inhales and your exhales. Feel the belly expand, the chest rise on the inhale, and then gently come back in on the exhale. going to invoke some breath work, a pranamaya, in which we have even counts for our inhales and our exhales, but also we're going to hold the inhale for a few counts, and we'll also hold after we exhale with an empty belly, empty lungs as well. So we're going to inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold everything out, 2, 3, 4, gently inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath in, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue on your own, count internally. One more cycle through all 4 parts, and then come back to your normal breathing. Nice job. Gently open the eyes. So there are all different types of pranayama techniques out there, and that's one that brings you into a balanced state. So it's a good one if you're feeling stressed out and you just need to recenter. Okay, so if you're in a kneeling position, come to easy pose or lotus pose or cross-legged pose. And we're just going to start to warm up the body. So let's start with some shoulder rolls. Switch directions. Bring the hands to the knees. We're going to do a seated cat-cow. So we're going to inhale, bring the chest forward, look up slightly. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, gaze at the navel. Really exhale all your breath out, all the way. Inhale, come back forward. Chest expands, gaze comes up. Exhale, round, gaze comes to the belly. Fully exhale. Inhale, come forward again. Flexion in the spine. And exhale, round down. Let's do 2 more rounds at your own pace. Nice. Come to a tall spine, leaning slightly forward, anterior tilt of the pelvis. Inhale the arms up. And clasp the hands slightly, bring them back behind you for a shoulder stretch. Inhale. Exhale, release that. Hands clasped behind you now. Inhale. Bring the shoulders behind, down towards the sacrum. Chest opens up. Gaze lifts to the ceiling. We're not cranking the neck all the way up. It's just slightly lifted to create some space in the front of the neck. And release. Inhale, bring your right arm up. And exhale over to the left side for a lateral stretch. Feeling the opening of the intercostal muscles between your ribs. And inhale, come up. Exhale, other side. And now let's sweep that arm forward and come to bringing your right arm up. Sweep it forward, other side. And the exhale, sweep. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, come up. Let's go back and forth. You can speed that up if you'd like. All of your breath should be going in and out through the nostrils. Pair the movement with your breath. Let that go to one side and come back up to center. Nice job. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, left hand comes to right knee, right hand comes behind you for a twist. It's our first twist in the practice. We're going to be doing plenty more. Tall, long, and integrated spine here. Gaze can go over the right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, release to the center, other side. Right hand to left knee. Left hand comes behind you. Inhale. Exhale, release. All right, from here we're going to come into half boat. I'm going to turn to the side to demo. So we're going to roll back onto the sits bones. From here I want you to sit up nice and straight. So try to avoid any slumping or rounding. Come up nice and tall. You can bring the hands to clasp underneath your thighs to give you an assist. Roll back, pull that chest forward to your knees. Start to balance on your sit bones. Bring the legs so that your shins are at a parallel to the floor, parallel angle. And so you're using this assist right now to keep the back nice and straight. Avoid any rounding. Now see if you can release your grip. Arms come forward, palms facing up. Can you keep your spine nice and long? This requires some nice ab work. Good job. Feet are pointed forward. You can flex the toes and space them out so you have active toes. So see if you can get gaps in between each toe. So you're really flexing just like you do with an open hand. You're flexing the toes outwards. Keep holding this. Good job. Deepen your inhales and exhales. One more cycle of breath. Inhale. All right, exhale, tap the right toe down and bring it back up. Switch. We're going to do these toe taps. See if you can keep holding it. You're doing awesome. Use the breath. If you need to take a small break, that's okay. Make this practice your own. Anything that I offer to you, it's just an offering. You don't have to do it. All right, release everything down. Hug back into your knees. Notice how you've built some heat in the hips and in your abs. Cross the legs, let's come to a kneeling. So I'm going to roll forward. Come into a kneeling pose. If you have wrists that aren't happy in a plank-like position, you can use your fists, which is what I do. I have a wrist injury on my right side, so I'm often using my fists when I'm in plank or kneeling. Okay, we're going to do some cat-cow again, this time in kneeling. Your knees are hip-width apart and they're directly underneath the hips, and then your hands should be directly underneath your shoulders. Inhale, drop the belly towards the ground. Gaze looks forward. We're not pinching upwards like this. Notice how I can, even my voice changes. You don't want any of that action in yoga. Instead, the gaze can just go up. We're just trying to create length in the front of the neck. Okay, inhale. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, gaze goes to the belly. See if you can fully exhale and bring the stomach way up towards to the back of the spine. You're pushing all the air out. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round the spine. And really, almost like you're bringing all of your organs and the front of your tummy backwards to meet your spine. Inhale, drop the belly. Our pelvic is in anterior tilt, or pelvis, excuse me. Round the spine on the exhale. One more time. Inhale into cow. And exhale into your cat. Speaking of cats, I've got a kitty visitor. All right, let's drop that. And we're going to come into puppy pose. So it's not quite like child's pose where we go all the way back. We are going to drop the hips back somewhat, bring those hands way out in front of you, and see if we can get almost like you're trying to drop your chest down to the ground. You can bring your chin or your forehead down. This often results in a good stretch in the shoulders. And now inhale, come forward onto your belly into our Sphinx pose. So elbows are underneath the shoulders. Your forearms are parallel to one another. Feet are hip width apart. And then we press through the elbows to bring the chest forward and up. We're stretching out the belly now. This is great for those of us that do a lot of ab work, that are focused on building core strength. We also need to give the core a chance to stretch out. This is also a really nice way to get into a back bend early into our practice. If your low back is feeling really pinchy, you can tighten the glute muscles, and that'll ease off of any pressure on the back. If you want to feel that low back stretch a little bit more deeply, see if you can relax the glute muscles and just hang out here. The thing I don't want you to do is to just like collapse downward into your shoulders. Press through those elbows to bring you up. From here, we're going to stretch the quads a bit. So take your left arm, swivel your hand around so that your arm is now parallel to the front of the mat. So your right hand is now free to reach behind you, flex that knee on the right side so you can grab your ankle or the top of your foot and just bring it to the foot towards the glute for a stretch on the quad. Release, other side. Switch hands. Nice job. All right, awesome, release that. Now this is the time to grab your rolled up towel. So what we're going to be doing with this, it can be intense for some people, and it can also actually, it can be emotional at times. Sometimes when we get into areas of the body in which we hold a lot of tension, such as our hips, and absolutely in our deep belly and our pelvic region, when we start to release that tension, it can be very, very intense. Emotions can come up. This is a great time to use deep breaths to recenter yourself, and if you're feeling a fight or flight mode, see if you can relax into this. If there's pain, then I want you to back off and not do this. Some contraindications for this. So don't do this if you are pregnant. I wouldn't recommend it if you're on your moon cycle, if you're a woman. It can aggravate cramps. Also, if you have any kind of stomach issues like ulcers, any kind of stomach disease, or hernias, please skip this one. And also if you have cardiovascular disease or high blood pressure, this is also another one to skip. Feel free to, get into some of your favorite yoga positions, or you can just hang out in Sphinx while we do this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're essentially going to stretch out our diaphragm. So first we're going to just take the towel and kind of roll it right underneath where our rib cage is. So you can see where I am, kind of where my sports bra ends. We're going to bring the towel underneath that region. Alright, if you want to stay up in a Sphinx pose, because you can feel the towel pressing a bit into the upper part of your diaphragm, that's fine. To go fully into this, we're going to bring our hands one on top of the other and then lay our forehead down. And you're going to feel the pressure of the towel going up into the belly. So we're going to do essentially similar breathing that we did in the beginning with those even breaths. And something I want you to focus on is when you inhale and you hold the inhale, this is when you're strengthening the diaphragm. Your muscles are going to be pressing against the towel to hold you up when you're holding in your inhale. When you completely exhale, I want you to try to get all of the breath out of your lungs, and then see if you can really, this is when you're going to be stretching out all of the tissues around your diaphragm. And see if you can really just let your body melt into that. It's an intense sensation, but very, very good for your belly. All right, so inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold this. We're going to hold it for a little bit longer. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Melt down into the towel. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay in the exhale. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay in the stretch. One more round. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay in this. Inhale, come back up into your Sphinx pose. We're going to move the towel down so that we're underneath the navel. Alright, yogi's choice. You can stay here up on the elbows for a less intense version. If you want to really go deep with it, I'm going to switch over to my corgeous ball. You can. Alright, if you want to go deeper, create that pillow for your forehead. Come on down, allow the chest to completely relax on the ground. So it's like your hips are resting on the towel. Okay, same thing. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay here. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Melt down into it. Hold it. Exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stretch down into the exhale. Relax over the ball. One more cycle. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the exhale. Inhale, come back onto the elbows, nice and slow. Roll into one hip, remove the towel. And let's just come back down onto our tummies. You can roll the hips back and forth. So that particular exercise, you can also do it in the mid region, right underneath the belly button, is really, really, really good for your stomach and your diaphragm and your digestion. and your parasympathetic nervous system. So if you don't have any of those issues, I also recommend always do that on an empty stomach. Actually, you should do any yoga on an empty stomach. If you have a full stomach, that's probably super uncomfortable. All right, last pose on our tummies, bow pose. We stretched out those quads a bit. We've done some back bends. So we're gonna flex both knees. So bend those knees. You can bring the forehead down to the ground. Arms reach behind you to grab the ankles. Once you've got a good grip here, if you are in a position where you can't reach the ankles, this is actually where a strap can be really useful. So you can just reach behind and grab the strap instead. Okay, that's why usually like straps and blocks are just good props to have in any yoga class. Okay, inhale, we're going to rise the knees up, rise the shoulders up into our bow pose. Press the feet back into the hands. You're going to activate the quads. It's going to lift the shoulders up further. Use your breath. Can you find peace in this pose? One more inhale. Exhale, release. Nice job. Let's push it back into child's pose. Nice and slow. Don't go too fast here. Sink back down to the hips. Knees are open wide. Feet are touching. Forehead can come down to the ground. Awesome. All right, let's come into a kneeling position. Tuck the toes. Hips rise up. We're coming into our downward facing dog. Press down into the palms. Fingers are nice and wide. Press into the underside of your knuckles. Take the pressure off of your wrists. Your pelvis is in an anterior tilt, so it's the opposite of tucking. So you're sticking your booty up towards the sky. Also really important here, try not to overdo it with the ribs jutting out. Keep the ribs tucked. It's the pelvis that's rocking up towards the sky, but you're not jutting the ribs down. Let the head hang. You can walk your dog if you'd like, alternating one knee bending and then the other. All right, inhale, left leg comes up. And exhale it into lunge. Let's bring the knee down to the ground. Hands come to the left knee. I'm going to press the chest up, and then we'll sink down into the hips. Squaring the hips, so right hip is forward, left hip comes back. Make sure your knee is over your ankle or behind it. You don't want the knee to be in front of the ankle. That'll lead to injuries and strain on your knee. Hands come into Anjali Mudra, and then we're going to hook that right elbow to the left knee for a gentle twist. And from here, tuck the toes and see if you can come up into a high lunge, crescent lunge in that twist. Nice job. Whoop. You might fall out of this, that's fine. All right, hands come down in front of you. Frame the foot. We're going to walk that back leg up. And then we're going to lift up into standing splits. Head drops behind you. And drop that leg down. Feet are hip width apart. Grab opposite elbow. Just going to sway here. Release the arms down. We're going to bend into the right knee. And then the right hand's going to come over to the left side. Inhale, left arm up for a forward fold in a twisted version. Engage your deep breathing through the nostrils. Release that down, bend into the left knee. Left hand comes over to the right side, right arm lifts. Gaze comes up to that right hand, up towards the sky. Engage the breath. And release down. All right, sink back into the hips. Hips come down, and then inhale the arms up into Utkatasana, chair pose. Anterior pelvis, so don't tuck the pelvis. You want to tuck the pelvis out and up. Nice job. Pressing down into your heels. If you want less heat in the shoulders or your shoulders are bothering you, you can come to Anjali Mudra or prayer pose. All right, bring those hands into Anjali Mudra. Inhale, exhale, turn to the right, hook the left elbow to the right knee. And see if on each exhale you can get slightly deeper into this twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. You're probably feeling a nice heat rising into your leg muscles. It's perfectly normal. On each exhale, can you go deeper into the twist? Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Nice job. Inhale, bring the left foot behind you into crescent lunge. And come into your twist. So first you can come up if you want to get stable. Hands are on the knees. Now we're going to bring that left elbow to hook to the right knee. Hands come into prayer. And twist to the side. Inhale. Exhale, knee comes down. Untuck the toes. Stay in your twist. Inhale, unhook those elbows. Frame the foot, both hands come down. We're going to tuck our back toes, lift the knee, and then exhale, bring that right leg all the way back for three-legged dog. And release down into down dog. Nice job. Relax into your down dog. Allow the head to completely relax. Can you just kind of bobble it around? Shake it yes, no. All right, inhale, bring the left knee to chest and plant the foot. Back heel comes down to the ground, rise up into warrior one. Hips are squaring to the front. Nice job, breathe into this. This is a slow flow class, which means we hold our poses for several breaths. We can focus in on our alignment and find our meditation in our breath in each pose. From here, we're going to straighten the front leg. We're going to bring the arms out to each side. Now I want you to keep, we're going into Trikonasana, or triangle pose. Normally, a lot of the traditional way to get in is to be into a warrior two, where the pelvis is facing the side, and then we bend over. That's actually really damaging to your SI joint. So modern biomechanics tell us that you actually want your hips towards the front. So when we come into our Trikonasana, we're going to still have our hips facing the front. We're going to lean forward into it. Hips are squared to the front. Bring that hand down. If you have a block handy, you can rest on the block, or you can come to your ankle. Arm rises. Now from here, there's actually a twist in the middle of your spine, so the shoulders open up to the side. Hips are still facing the front. There are people who've avoided triangle pose for years because it really hurts their SI joint, and when they come into it this way, it feels awesome. So start doing your triangle poses with this different alignment. Engage your breath. All right, reverse triangle. We're going to bring the right arm down, frame the foot. You can walk the feet in a bit if you'd like. Long spine here. See if you can bring your hand on top of your ankle on the right side, or it can be, your right hand can be on either side of your foot, depending on your flexibility here. Left hand comes to the hip. It's a good balancing pose as well. And then we start to open the shoulders up to the left side. Keep that left hand on your hip until you can get those shoulders twisted open to the left. Then you can open up the arms. The key to many of these poses is to going into them with intention, slowing it down, and going step by step. Hips are squared towards the front. And release that down. Nice job. Hands are gonna, you can bend into that front knee. Hands frame the foot. And we're going to come back into our down dog. All right, other side. Inhale, bring the right knee up to the chest. Plant that foot. Bring the left heel down. Foot is at a 45-degree angle. Long spine here. Before you even lift your hands off the ground, get your spine centered. Square your hips towards the front. Is your knee over your ankle? Check all of your alignment. And then rise on up. It's a nice long spine. Find peace in your warrior. Steady but energizing breaths here. All right, coming into our Trikonasana, triangle pose. Lengthen the front leg. You can bring the arms out to either side, but keep those hips squared towards the front. I'm going to lean forward, hinge at the hips. Right arm comes to rest on the ankle or a block. Again, square the hips forward. Now twist in the middle of the spine so that your shoulders are opening up to the side. Trikonasana. Imagine again that there's a thread being pulled from the top of your head. So your head is moving away from your hips, lengthening through the crown all the way down through the entire spine. All right, we're going to come into our reverse triangle. You can shorten the stance if you'd like. First we'll frame that front foot. You can walk your back foot in a bit. Okay, first hips, we'll square the hips. So bring that right hip back, left hip comes forward. Long spine here. And then place your left hand wherever you can. I'm going to bring it over to cross over the right foot. All right. Pay attention to the hips again. Are they square? Once they are, you can bring your right hand to your right hip and start to open up the shoulders to the right side. This is a very challenging pose, so don't worry if you don't feel like you're quite getting it. Again, this is why having blocks is super awesome. It can help you get into poses comfortably with good alignment. I use them all the time. Inhale, right arm comes up. Once you've got good alignment, you can open up. Come back to your breath. Can you find ease in this pose through your breath? Release, the hand comes down. Nice job. Okay, we're going to bend into that front foot, and we're going to bring the left foot up to meet the right. Feet are hip width apart. Forward fold. Okay, now we're coming to one of my favorite parts. We're going to get real funky here. All right. Let's bring the hands to the hips, flat back, halfway. All right, if you've taken this class before, remember how I said to come up with an integrated spine? Push through the heels, so push down to the heels. It should activate. You should feel your hips, around your hips, those muscles activate. Now push down through the heels, long spine, to push your back and your torso up. So it's your legs that are doing most of the work to bring you up, along with a little bit of core, as opposed to putting that whole load into your lower spine, into your lower back. Okay, so what we're going to do next, I love this. I do this every morning. It's been a game changer. It's called Agnisara. It is a breath technique that also massages the belly. And I recommend doing this when you first get up, before you put anything in your belly, before you do anything. Do your Agnisara. I literally like get up, turn off the alarm, and then I start doing these exercises. So what it looks like, I'm going to turn to the side. So we're going to come into like a crouched position, almost like Utkatasana, but we're going to rest our hands onto our knees. And if you have wrist issues, you can bring your elbows down to your knees. And so what this is, I'll come a bit closer. So it's a 3-part breath, so or 3-part movement. What we're going to do, we're going to be massaging those organs, the digestive organs. We're going to inhale nice and slow. We'll do an exhale that's somewhat forceful but not too extreme. But we're going to want to get every little bit of air out of our lungs. Normally when we exhale, there's still a little bit of air left. So we want to get it all out. Then we're going to suck the belly up, like we're going to suck it in, so it goes straight, like you're sucking it right back to here. And then we're going to suck it upwards, like towards our lungs. So it'll be in, up, and then we release it back down. And so a released belly is like just allowing the belly to totally drop. So it's an up, or sorry, it's an in, up, drop. In, up, drop. And we do that when we have no air in our lungs. So we do an inhale, exhale all the way out, hold that exhale out. That's when we do the movement of in, up, drop. Then we can do multiple cycles of that over and over until we're ready to take our inhale again. So to demo, I'm going to do a couple rounds. So you can do several rounds of the churning, the Agnisara churning, while you're holding your breath out. So I'm going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth all the way out, and then you'll see those movements. I won't be able to talk, but all right, exhale. Okay, you guys ready to try it with me? All right, so just think belly comes in, then bring it up towards the ribs, and then drop it down. So first I'll walk you guys through it, and then I'll do it with you. Okay, everyone, slow, big, deep inhale. Exhale, push it all out through the mouth. Every last inch, whoosh it out. Okay, bring the belly in, suck it up, let it drop down. So bring it in, suck it up, let it drop down. Bring it in, suck it up, let it drop down. All right, take your inhale and just gently release. A couple normal breaths here. All right, let's do that again. Inhaling all the way, full inhale, expand the lungs. And now exhale, whoosh it all out. Every last part of your breath. Whoosh, all of it. All right, now hold that. And belly comes in, up, release it down. 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 All right, take your inhale. And release that. All right, we're going to do 3 more rounds of this, and I'll do it with you. Inhale. Exhale it all out. Inhale. one, just normal exhale. You can do this at your own pace if you'd like. Let's do 2 more rounds at your own pace. Awesome. Nice job. If you guys have questions about how to do that, we can feel free to ask them after class, or you can send me a note. If you're watching on YouTube, you can put it in the comments. There's also some great tutorials online that you can Google as well. So it's called Agni Sara, A-G-N-I, and second word Sara, S-A-R-A. It's really awesome. And once you start practicing it for a while, you'll get the hang of it, and then you can do the belly churning pretty rapidly. It's really great also if you're constipated and you need to move things through. But again, you know, same contraindications as what we did on the floor. You know, if you're on your moon cycle, pregnancy, ulcers, that kind of stuff, you probably want to avoid really intense you know, movement and pressure in the belly. Okay, so let's actually come down into my favorite, Balasana. So a note on healthy digestion is this is actually the way that people used to go to the bathroom. Particularly for your number 2. This is actually the way that your body aligns to have a really easily, like, elimination, to use nice words for it. And now we sit on toilets, which actually puts you in the totally wrong alignment for that type of movement through your bowels. So I recommend getting a squatty potty. Or actually, I need to get like more of an extreme squatty potty so I can get into more of an extreme squat. The squatty potty is like, you know, the baby version. But for anybody who does a lot of yoga or who's pretty flexible, you can probably get versions that will get you into more of an actual squat. So that's a really great thing for just your overall digestive health. All right, now that we've gotten to hang out in Balasana here for a few moments, let's sink back down, come onto our sit bones, and we're going to come into our boat again. So before we were in half boat, right now I'm facing you, different angle. If you need to, like, hug the chest to the knees to get your back supported, so you have a long spine. And then if you'd like to, see if you can bring the legs all the way up. All right, come back to your half boat, and we're going to bring the legs open wide here. Again, try to bring the chest forward, and we're going to bring everything together, cross the ankles. So everything's together, your chest and your knees, and then we're going to open back out, legs come back out, cross the other way, bring everything in. So your back is moving back and forth. Got it? Out, bring it all together. Out, bring it all together. I'm going to turn around again. Out. Bring it together. Nice job. And now hug the knees in, relax, and we're going to take our towel. Again, we're going to do a little bit more ab work. So grab your towel, roll onto your backs, place the towel in between your legs, in between your thighs, and feet come up, feet are flexed up towards the sky. Now squeeze your towel together. You're going to feel lots of activation in the inner thighs. Hands come behind the head, clasp the hands together. Elbows reach up towards the sky. Keep squeezing that towel. Squeeze it, squeeze it. All right, take an inhale here. Exhale, slowly rise the elbows up towards the sky, bringing the head up. Hold that exhale out, and then lift the hips off the ground for a little pelvic lift. And inhale, bring it back down. Exhale, rise everything up. Hold it here. Pelvic lift up. And inhale, bring things back down. Exhale, elbows come up to the sky. Hold out that exhale. And lift the pelvis. And now inhale, bring it back down. Keep squeezing that towel as much as you can. Squeeze it, squeeze it. Inhale and exhale. Rise the elbows up. Hold the exhale out. Belly comes down towards the spine. And lift the pelvis up. Feet lift up towards the ground, towards the sky. Inhale, back down. 3 more. Exhale. Hold the exhale. Pelvic tilt up. And inhale, come down. Exhale, lift up. Squeeze that towel. Pelvic lift. And inhale, come down. 1 more. Exhale. Squeeze. Pelvic lift. And inhale, release everything. Nice job. All right, let's get into bridge pose here. So, knees are bent. You should be able to touch your heels with the tips of your fingers. Feet are hip width apart, feet are facing forward. Inhale, rise the hips off the ground. And clasp the hands underneath you. Press down through the heels. Stretching that belly open after we did that core work. Breathe. Release it down. We're going to come up one more time. Inhale, press down through the heels, press the hips up to the air. You can roll the shoulders underneath if you like for a deeper bridge. Press, 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 press through the heels. Inhale, hips high, and release it down. Nice job. Okay, from here, I want you to roll up slowly. Come into a kneeling position. We're going to take this back bend even deeper into our camel. So a tip for camel, we're going to come up onto our knees. If you want, if you don't want to go into it so deeply, you can tuck your toes. That lifts the heels up higher, so you're not reaching as far back. If you want to go real far back, leave those toes untucked. You can go into this one arm at a time instead of both. So if you prefer to do that, I'll do the modified version. So feet are tucked, Reach behind, so look behind you, over to the right or the left. Connect your foot to your heel. Then you can start to open that shoulder up, or you can sweep the arm around, up and around. This is half camel. And then you could switch to the other side. From here, make sure you're pressing those hips forward. Instead of lounging back into it, press the hips forward as much as you can without taking your hand away from the heel. You'll get a deeper stretch. You should feel lots of opening through your belly. To switch sides, just sweep the arm down. Hips come back. Slowly, slowly switch over to the other side. Sweep it behind you and up. Hips come forward. If you want to go into full camel, that's when both arms reach behind. This is one of the times when you can really drop the neck, and you'll get a really deep flexion here in the neck. That's okay to look behind you. Breathe. Walk the hands up if you're in full camel. All right, come up to a kneeling position. Allow the spine to reset. You don't ever want to go from a deep back bend into a fold right away. You always want to have a reset moment. Now we can come down into child's pose. And we're coming to the end of our practice. All right, let's bring our weight over to one side, swivel the legs forward. And we're going to lie back onto our backs. Last pose, supine twists. So any version that you like, you can have the knee in like a tree pose. You can do this 90-degree twist. You can have, for an easier twist, you can bring both knees together, whichever one you like. See if you can relax into this pose. So it's not just the spine that's twisting, but it's also all the muscles throughout the abdomen, in the pelvic region, all of those organs. These twists are so great for your digestive system. Inhale, gently come back to center. Let's do the other side. Inhale, come back to center. Bring the knees together into your Apanasana.
See if you can wrap your hands, your arms around your knees.
Try to touch your forehead with your knees. You're in a tiny little ball here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release.
Open up into your Shavasana, final pose.